Hello and welcome to a brand new video. My name is DJoy, and today we're going to be looking at underrated and underused PvP items for Vanilla WoW. All in all, it's not really in any particular order. We're not going to have a straightforward what I would say is the most beneficial or required in this guide, just in any order. Alright, first off, we're going to start with the Shatterer. It has a chance to disarm the target for 10 seconds. It's fairly strong against rogues and some warriors that don't run weapon chains. When rogues start to get tier 2 gloves, when Black Lair comes out though, it does kind of fall off. And a lot of warriors in PvP will run weapon chains. But luckily, you can swap your weapon in combat, so you can take this off, depending on the situation, of course. Second, we have Force Reactive Disc. This is very strong against melee when you're a warrior or a rogue, and when you have a rogue beating on you, I mean, and you're a warrior or like a paladin or even a shaman. But I'm mainly paladin and warrior, where you can have those blocks. The abilities, Paladin has the readout talents. I know Warrior also has shield block, and that'll pretty much force this proc, damaging the target. So if Rogue opens on you, by the time you're out of all their stuns, they'll be like 80% health. So yeah, it's pretty good against them. It's made by Engineer. Also, the Shatterer, back in the last item, that was made by a blacksmith. I'll have all links in the description also. Alright, next up we have Invulnerable Mail. When struck in combat, has a 5% chance to make you invulnerable to all melee damage for 3 seconds. Can only occur once every 30 seconds. So basically with this, it's randomly basically going to give you a Paladin's Bop, but you can still like do melee swings while you're in it. So it's quite strong against melees. It's made by a blacksmith here too. The mats are quite expensive. It needs Arcanite bars, 30. Alright. Next we have a Jagged Obsidian Shield. When struck by a harmful spell, the caster of that spell has a 5% chance of being silenced for 3 seconds. So mainly here as a paladin, I mean, I guess also even as a warrior against mages, this is very strong, and it's just very hard to be locked down. In general, it's just very strong. Made by a blacksmither here. I would highly recommend this as like a pre-made healer on a paladin especially. It's a very nice piece. Alright, next we have Ornate Mithril Boots. Removes existing immobilization effects and makes you immune to mobilizing effects for 5 seconds. So this is basically the gnome racial that removes any roots on you, but it also makes you immune to them for 5 seconds. So it's kind of like freedom from paladins. It's made by a blacksmither here. Next we have Spider Belt, which is the same item, basically, but it's cloth and it's a belt. So it removes immobilizing effects and makes you immune to them for 5 seconds. This one's made by a tailor. The other one was plate. So only like paladins and warriors can wear that, but this can be worn by anyone. Next we have Serenity. Dispels a magical effect on your current foe. Basically, so it's basically a shaman purge. It can be quite strong against some classes. Like you can use it up against a mage and it'll remove their ice barrier. Or just whatever buffs they have. It's made by a blacksmith. Next we have Voice Amplification Modular. This is quite nice for any healer in Battlegrounds, World PvP, any stuff like that. It gives you a chance to resist silence by 7%. Made by Engineer. It's got delicate Arcanite converters to the mats. It's a little expensive. Next we have basically similar to this one, but it's a ring, and I'm pretty sure they stack. It's Murmuring Ring. Increases your resistance to silence by 5%, which it drops off a rare in Dire Maul East, I believe. It's very strong too. If you stack, get 2 of these bad boys with the neck piece, and then also Paladin's Concentration Aura. Basically, like any Felguard, Warlock pets, and mages trying to counterspell you, you have a very high chance of resisting that. And it's quite harder to lock you down. Alright, next up we have Skullforge Reaver. This item particularly is very strong against rogues. It procs almost every swing on most servers. It's a 30-second dot that ticks every 1 second for 2 shadow damage. It also scales the spell power. So if you have quite a bit of spell power, it'll tick. It's common to tick around 15, 16 damage per tick, rather than just the 2 it says here. It drops off Baron and Strat. I don't know what this is, but next up we're gonna show Bloodvine Lens here. I really like this item for rogue versus rogue stuff. Is it right here? It increases your stealth detection. It's made by an engineer. This item here does not come out until ZG because you buy it with the ZG reps, the pattern. So before that, you're gonna have to get Cat's Eye Ultra Goggles, which is also made by an engineer, but it doesn't require 300. You only need 220. It also doesn't nearly have as nice stats as this other one has. But I mean, you gotta make do until ZG comes out, I suppose. And alright, the final category, Frost Oils. So Frost Oils are very nice on like classes, not like Rogue, I guess just melee classes in general that are non-rogues, where you particularly can use an extra oomph in your damage or just extra slow. Like as a Paladin, you don't have a slow at all, really. So Frost Oil is really nice. Or if you just want a little more damage, and you, even especially for Paladin, where you have a lot of spell power, because these bolts will scale with spell power. This and Shadow Oil will give you a nice damage proc. It's a level 3, rank 3 Shadow Bolt here. And these are both very nice for PvP. I mean, I've even seen some warriors with Shadow Oils. Normally Sharpening's a little bit better for warriors, but I think these are a little bit cheaper sometimes, depending on your server. And I hope you enjoyed the video. That's going to be all. Thanks for watching.